As a child, but sometimes the village, though appreciated, isn't on the same page with you as a parent. And besides being frustrating, it could actually be a hazard to your child. A new study finds that grandparents who step in for childcare tend to use the same practices they did when they were parenting. But some of them may be outdated, putting their grandchildren at risk. But having a grandparent as a primary caregiver or taking care of a child on work days is some parents' only option for childcare. So what should they do? Joining us to help us and talk us all through it, we welcome the Associate Professor of Psychology at UNF, Dr. Tracy Alloway. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Stranger.
We get so excited when you come because you just bring like all the knowledge that we just need to know. Always would love and need to know.
Yes.
So
I love being here.
should a parent consider when it comes to other people caring for their children in their own way?
I think we want to keep in mind that you want to look at the actual outcome. What are the practices that they're doing? And we can classify that in three ways. One, is it actually harming the child? And we'll kind of talk about that. Two, is it not harming them but actually not helping them? Or two, is it not harming them but it's just a parental preference? And so I think we want to break it down a little bit more instead of saying, well, those practices were used when our grandparents were raising children and so it shouldn't be used now. I think we want to carefully consider each of those actions and techniques.
I think this is such a touchy subject.
It
Oh
is.
my
It
goodness.
is.
Parents challenging their parents or grand. Oh my goodness, this is going to be
true.
tough. Okay, so let's talk about some of the tactics that actually could pose harm then.
Yes, and so one of the things actually from the study found that almost 50% of grandparents thought that you should have give a child an ice bath to bring a fever down. But some medical experts feel that that could actually induce hypothermia and doesn't actually have that benefit that you want of bringing that fever down. So that's an example of where it could potentially harm the child and not even give you those benefits that you hope.
Uh-oh.
Y'all watch out.
Catherine.
This is 2017, and I am very frustrated. I have several friends that have new children, and they're like, well, I've read here, and they're reading this book and that book, and I said, I am sorry, but my parents did not have a book to read, and neither did my grandparents, and no grandparent in 2017, I think, is so stupid that they're going to submerge a baby in an ice-cold bath for a long enough time that they're going to get hyperthermia. My parents didn't read a book. I turned out just fine.
Yeah,
So weird
it
in
is.
it. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what they're, I mean, that I understand, but I think to label all grandparents that are doing totally outdated things, they raised us, we're alive, they raised you to have that child.
Yeah, and I think that's where that third point comes in, where it's not harming, it's just a preference. And so an example of that is feeding babies solid food. So again, like you mentioned, it is a very debatable topic. When do you introduce solid foods to an infant? And there are studies to show that there's actually no, so the argument is that if you feed a baby a solid food earlier, they'll sleep through the night, which is obviously what every young parent wants.
2 days old, here you go.
Night-night. Cards for their friend.
Read it in the book.
But actually, studies found that there's no difference for babies who are fed rice or rice cereal and either breastfed or given formula. So that's more of a preference. As a parent, do you want to give them solid foods a little earlier? It's not actually going to help them, you know, not necessarily going to help them sleep any better.
That's an old wives' tale, as they say, because I remember growing up, you do not give a child table food until they are way down the line.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but now we see that there is like no reason for that.
Right. I mean, there are some studies to show that if the child is younger than 4 months, so the 2-day rule comes in here. So if they're younger than 4 months, it may actually negatively affect their sleep because their bodies can't process that kind of solid food. But if they're older than that, then there's no real difference between whether you're giving them milk before bedtime or feeding them some kind of solid rice cereal or baby cereal. So that would be an example of where, you know, the grandparents may have a preference and it's, you know, they're going to turn out fine.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, well, some parents watching may be thinking, you know, I could never tell my parents that they're doing something wrong or right when it comes to taking care of my child. So how, as a parent, do you tell your parents, that's not how I want to do it with my kid?
That's again
Like that?
another touchy
Just like that.
That's an argument right
I think
there.
it should have been addressed before the baby came, personally.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that
That's
conversation,
true.
it's kind of like when you get married. You have a conversation with your husband about how we want to raise our children. That same conversation needs to be had with the grandparents.
Agreed.
But how do you do it? How do you make it where it's like not so offensive maybe? Because you have to be really careful.
And I think the best thing to do is keep in mind what your goal is. So if those grandparents are providing daycare on a regular basis, you want to think about the trade-off.
Yeah.
So One example that we talked about where it's not harmful but not helpful, so there's a claim that says listening to Mozart will make your baby smarter. There's no science behind that claim. It can calm them, it can, music in general is very soothing, but it's not actually going to boost up their IQ and make them little Einsteins. And so a grandparent may want to do that, but maybe you want them to listen to your musical preference. And so as a parent, you have to see that trade-off. Do you like that daycare that you're receiving from the grandparents enough just to say, that music style or solid food right now isn't that big of a deal? And I think you just have to weigh, what that relationship means to you.
How can you do that in such a kind way, though? Because, I mean, everyone that I know has gotten into a small argument with their parents or in-laws because of either, them watching the kids, or they don't want to offend them, but they want the daycare, of course, but they also want their rules and regulations into effect, not grandma and grandpa's.
I think it's
How do you do it?
Yeah, and I think, when you think of any kind of decision making, there's two pathways. It's sort of the dual model, where you can either make a very emotional decision, which is, these are my kids, you have to do it my way, regardless, or you have the more utilitarian, what is the greatest good for everyone? And that may be that sometimes you have to make some sacrifices, because it's great that the children are with grandparents, a family member, and it's fantastic that they're getting that love and that care and support, rather than they're maybe not following your system exactly.
I ask this question very often when you hear Dr. Alloway, because as a person who does not have kids by choice, but back then, piggybacking off of what Ms. Lawless said, growing up and being raised back then, we never had all these issues and these topics and these concerns.
Or did we? And we just didn't realize it at the time.
No, back in the 70s, we really had all that.
I'm just here to play devil's advocate, y'all. That's my job. Doing it well.
So now it seems like everything is just so touchy. Do you think this is playing a role in how kids turn out? I mean, they're 4 years old, the way they're being raised off mom's new rules, so to speak. And then when they get 10, 12, 13, 14 years old, and they are just a handful and you just can't deal with them, does this play a role in that?
I think the fact that our parenting is so transparent nowadays, or parenting in general is so transparent, I think that plays a big role. Because if you post something on social media, that's an invitation for someone to say, well, that's not how we do it here. Or why are you giving them solid foods? Or why are they listening to music at all? And so everyone's got an opinion, and because of the way our society is structured, which has huge benefits, but it also has huge disadvantages, and as a parent, if you don't want to invite that criticism, my suggestion is just don't post.
Just that easy. Just don't. We're gonna hashtag that.
Just don't post. That's a very good hashtag.
Yes,
very good.
yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Dr.
Thank you.
Alloway.
Thank
We
you.
always appreciate the advice. And good luck telling your parents that it's not really how you want
This
to
ain't your child, it's mine.
Good luck. All right, for more information on today's topic and more, visit TracyAlloway.com. Coming up next, it's a big step in a relationship, but when should it happen? We discuss how long couples should wait before moving in together. See what you think when we come back.